The sun is just breaking over the horizon at an undisclosed airbase in the Middle East. The tarmac is screaming with a high-pitched, metallic howl. It's 6 a.m., and two Pratt & Whitney F-100 engines are glowing at 2,000 degrees as a U.S. Air Force F-15 strains against its brakes. This 30-ton beast of steel and silicon is ready to be unleashed. With a thunderous roar that rattles the windows of the control tower, the pilot releases the pressure. The jet rockets forward, hitting 150 knots in mere seconds before rotating into a vertical climb that defies gravity itself. This is Eagle One. For the next 12 hours, these two pilots are the apex predators of the Persian Gulf, tasked with maintaining a fragile peace in a corridor where one wrong move can spark a global catastrophe. The mission begins as a standard sweep of the shipping lanes, watching over the massive oil tankers that act as the lifeblood of the global economy. From 30,000 feet, the world looks peaceful, but the crew knows better. Below the surface of the blue water and behind the radar screens of the coastline, a silent game of chess is being played. As the hours pass and the clock ticks toward the evening, this routine patrol turns into a high-stakes riddle. By 4 p.m., the sky is a brilliant, hazy orange. Suddenly, the jet's advanced radar begins to flicker, displaying a series of jagged, inconsistent returns. Eagle One, we have a ghost on the glass, the weapons systems officer calls out. On the radar, a target appears, then vanishes. It's an Iranian drone, but it's doing something no drone has ever done before. It's mimicking the exact radar signature and transponder code of a civilian airliner on a known commercial flight path. This is a Trojan horse maneuver, designed to test the rules of engagement and lure the F-15S into a specific pocket of airspace near the Iranian coast. As the aircraft closes in to visually identify the ghost, the pilot realizes the terrifying depth of the trap. Hidden by the blinding glare of the setting sun, an Iranian Kilo-class submarine has surfaced. It isn't firing torpedoes. Instead, it has raised a specialized mast acting as a mobile electronic jamming station. It pumps out a massive wall of digital white noise directly at the jet's sensors. Suddenly, the cockpit lights up like a Christmas tree. Warning tones scream in the pilot's ears. A chaotic symphony of system fail and radar jammed. They have been lured into a kill box where their long-range sensors are blinded by both the sub below and powerful land-based stations hidden in the coastal cliffs. At 6:30 p.m., the sun vanishes beneath the horizon, and the world turns pitch black. This was the Iranian plan all along. In the darkness, the electronic noise from the submarine has made it impossible for the F-15S to see over the horizon or communicate with their command center. They are flying through a digital fog, isolated and vulnerable to an ambush they can't see coming. However, the Iranians forgot about the silent protector lurking over the horizon. The U.S. destroyer, USS Carney, has been tracking the electronic signature of the jamming since it began. The ship's computers recognize the threat instantly. Without needing a long chain of command, the destroyer's vertical launch system cell covers blow open. In a burst of flame that illuminates the deck for a split second, a flight of Tomahawk cruise missiles is launched into the night. These Tomahawks scream through the darkness, hugging the waves at 500 miles per hour. They are guided by internal inertial maps that don't rely on the jammed radar frequencies. While the F-15 pilots struggle to maintain their bearings, the Tomahawks find their mark with surgical precision. A massive explosion rips through the night as the first Tomahawk slams into the Iranian jamming site on the coast, turning the radar array into burning scrap. Another strikes the water mere yards from the submarine, the massive underwater shockwave hammering the hull and forcing the vessel to dive and cut its signal to avoid destruction. The fog of war lifts instantly. The F-15's radar clears, and the screen refreshes with a violent green glow to show the reality that had been hidden by the jammer. It is now 7 p.m. Two Iranian F-14 Tomcats are less than 10 miles away, diving out of the night sky with their massive afterburners wide open. They thought they were closing in for an easy kill on a blinded and confused aircraft. They were wrong. Guns! 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 The F-15 pulls a violent 9G brake turn that would snap the wings off a lesser aircraft. Inside the cockpit, the pilot's vision narrows to a tiny pinhole as the blood is pulled from his brain by the crushing centrifugal force, but his hands remain steady. He stays on the target. The Iranian lead Tomcat tries to sweep its wings back and outrun the jet, but the F-15 is already in the 6 o'clock position. The American pilot doesn't want a missile lock. He settles the HUD funnel over the glowing, white-hot heat of the Tomcat's twin engines and lets the M61 Vulcan cannon speak. A half-second burst shreds the Tomcat's left wing in a spray of sparks and fuel. Fire erupts from the Iranian jet as it tumbles into a flat spin toward the black water. The second Tomcat sees his wingman disintegrate and tries to dive for the deck to escape, but the second F-15 is already there, waiting like a ghost. A snapshot from the Vulcan cannon stitches a line of fire across the Tomcat's canopy and into the engine intake, causing it to explode instantly. By 7:02 p.m., the sky is empty again. Two parachutes drift slowly toward the cold water. The Iranian gamble has failed in the most spectacular fashion. The adrenaline begins to fade, replaced by the heavy realization of what just happened. The jets level out, their engines humming a low, steady tune. The mission that began in the heat of the morning sun ends in the freezing, starlit silence of the midnight sky. The Iranians tried everything: a ghost drone, a surface submarine, and a night ambush. They used every trick in the book to try and dethrone the king of the air, but they forgot the golden rule. Never mistake a standard patrol for a lack of resolve, and never, ever touch the jets. The F-15 remains the undisputed, undefeated king of the night. What do you think was the biggest mistake? The Trojan horse drone, the surface submarine, or the decision to send aging Tomcats into a dogfight with a fully armed American fighter? Let us know your theory in the comments below. If you want more minute-by-minute combat breakdowns, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for the next mission. Eagle 1, heading home. Out.